Of Joe City are playing to you at exactly 39 minutes of 8 a.m. in the morning. A very good morning, people. How are you doing so far? It is a Monday. I understand for those of you who have been traveling to work, you already settled into your offices, most especially the early birds. And although, for those who are still home stuck, trying to see how they can figure out a way of escaping traffic jam, you also definitely get there. But one thing I have to tell you, you should actually be so much optimistic about this brand new week. Being that it is the last week of the month of October, you need to actually be so much optimistic about it, because as Uganda, we celebrate this particular month not only because of independence, but the entire month is being celebrated and dedicated to Uganda as a whole as well. But shout out to those that are getting us online on our YouTube channel where we're streaming live. We are also streaming live on our Facebook page, and that is Media Challenge Initiative. And of course, we are up and running as well on each and every single social media platform as well. So endeavor to catch all the conversations that go into happen here as well. Basically, one thing I'll definitely say, if at all you get the MCI Media Hub, rather the MCI Radio, up from the Google Play Store, you'll definitely be able to actually send shoutouts to your people and maybe recommendations as well. You can tell your friends to download the MCI Radio app from the Google Play Store, and maybe for those who use Apple phones, you can get it from the Apple Store as well, so that you can definitely jump onto this digital world that never waits for anybody. By the time you wake up to jump on this particular one, will definitely be a goal as well. But a beautiful morning as well. I'm super excited today because the conversations that we are going to hold here are so much pertinent and important, most especially to our society. You might probably not have heard about anything to do with bedside nursing and of course home care services. Very many of you are being used to, calling your grandmothers in the village, get me a girl to actually help me with our skills here and there, and sometimes they end up disappointing you. But we're definitely gonna find out, is this a particular thing that is actually starting to work out here in Uganda? Because today, I think I do have the right people to talk about this particular one. But before I introduce my guest today in studio, I'll definitely take you on a journey of our jumpstart, where we shake your brain and make sure that it is in a particular position to function on this beautiful day, as well as we get into our jumpstart at this beautiful morning as well.
It can be hard to get your brain moving after a long sleep. Jumpstart your brain this morning. They seem easy but logically challenging. The jumpstart on the button, every piece in its position.
Definitely they seem easy but logically challenging. We always tell you that the questions that we ask here, you might see them as easy, but they require you to actually pause a little bit and then think in the right answer. When I was still studying in my primary, I think it was primary 6, my English teacher used to tell me, Shaddai, never rush to answer a question, because most of the times I would actually read halfway a question. Before I actually finish it, I already have the answer and I end up messing up. But she told me always think through and read the question as many times as you can for you to be able to actually get the right answer. But even these particular questions that we ask here, you might actually rush to answer them. But on the Jumpstart today, we actually ask one particular question, and you can definitely answer this particular one on all our social media platforms. And we ask, what has lots of eyes but can't see? What has a lot of eyes but cannot see? What has lots of eyes but can't see? I think this particular one is something that has multiple eyes. but he can definitely not see. And this is where I want to also introduce in my guests, and I'll get an answer from them as well. I'm super excited that I have two ladies and of course one gentleman. They're going to be able to actually introduce to us themselves and then get to know what they do. Probably one of them will be able to give me a particular answer on this particular one. Ladies first, and I'll start off with that. Good morning, madam.
A very good morning, El Shaddai.
How are you doing?
And good morning to our listeners.
Yeah, we do have viewers and listeners. Those that are watching us on YouTube, they are watching us on Facebook as well. I would definitely want to understand, and maybe someone who is watching and listening will definitely know who is this beautiful lady speaking behind this microphone.
My name is Sarah Barunji.
Mrs. Sarah Barunji.
Yeah.
Good to have you on the puzzle today.
Thank you, El Shaddai.
And maybe you had the question very right. You had the question. What has eyes but cannot see?
Can I say a butterfly?
A butterfly? I think you've convincingly failed this particular one, and I'll pass. You can definitely pass it to someone else.
Vicky?
Good morning, Vicky.
Good morning, El Shaddai.
How are you doing?
Okay, how are you?
It sounds like you are still so much cold.
No, I'm not cold.
Mm.
Yeah, so let me try to answer that question.
Mm.
What has many eyes
But cannot see.
Let me tell you the answer. I also thought it's a butterfly.
A butterfly can't see.
It has eyes, but it can't see.
What has lots of eyes, but it can't see lots of eyes.
Like very many eyes.
Yeah.
I've never seen it today. I don't know.
Anyway, let me get the last, a person in here. Good morning, sir. How are you doing?
Good morning to you.
Maybe for someone who's listening for the very first time, they will definitely want to understand who is this gentleman.
My name is Henry Cedric Mugone.
Mm.
Yes. Good morning, viewers, and good morning, listeners.
You heard the question so well. And what has lots of eyes, but it can't definitely see?
It's a beautiful morning and a tough question as well.
You're trying to ask and consult Mr. Google.
No. Perhaps I would think maybe an octopus.
An octopus. No. Anyway, I can give you hints.
Yes.
I can give you hints.
Yes.
I think this is something edible. It is something, yeah, I would just stop there because I might end up speaking the answer.
Learning is continuous, and I believe I'm going to learn today.
Alright, the right question will definitely be revealed at the end of the show. Maybe we can definitely give this particular chance to our online listeners and those that are watching us. Just go into the comment section and tell us what has lots of eyes but it can't see as well. You can be part of the winners and part of the lucky people. We always give out goodies here from the MCI Media Hub. You can definitely be part of those people. We only give chances to 2 people. The first 2 people to answer it correctly will definitely stand a chance to get some of the things that we give away here. Hampers and different other things as well. But surprisingly, this beautiful morning is one that is so much special because I do have Mrs. Sarah Barunji, Mrs. Vicky here, and Mr. Cedric Henry. They are here for a special reason. They actually here to actually make us understand how bedside nursing and home care services really work. Of course, in regards to what we definitely know or not know as well. It should be noted, I know very many people have not been open to the mind and maybe the reality that this is where the world is headed. Very many people struggle so much when it comes to I will call them their retirement ages. Because sometimes people stay lonely, people stay alone, people stay with a few people who can't be able to help them, and at the end of the day, there are certain people who are so much busy and they cannot render a service to their loved ones. And I really want to understand how does this particular one work. So while the retirement community industry continues to grow, a majority of older adults still say they prefer to stay in their homes. They do not want to be taken to, let's say, retirement homes. They do not want to be taken to hospitals and different other things. So while this decision is to stay in the existing house, may seem like the most economical option on the surface, actually maybe sometimes cost effective, can quickly actually diminish if home care services are ever required. And this is why I really want to understand. First of all, Mr. Henry, when someone says home care services, what actually do they mean, or what is the story behind home care services?
Basically, I would want to drag you back to bedside nurses first.
Maybe that's where we need to actually understand as well. Bedside nursing, is it something that really works here in Uganda? Or what we have assumed new?
No, bedside nursing is actually not so much of the whites or the Europeans. It is a service that is embraced by each and everyone. That I'm sure that at one time everyone of us has a sick patient, has a sick relative, a sick friend, and this service suits in amicably for us. The only fear maybe comes in with people thinking it is an extra charge, an extra cost, especially when they are embedded with the treatment costs. But I would want to categorically put it that bedside nursing takes place in a range of clinical setups, such as hospitals, homes, or residential care facilities. And it is in one way or another a service that we all need by our fingertips.
I really want to understand, before we get in there, very many people here in Uganda, we are so much traditional and we do not want to embrace some innovations that come along the way. And Mrs. Sarah, I really want to understand, how did you come up with this innovation to actually say, you know what, I think this is something that is needed? What sparked off your mind to say, I think this is something that we need to start and do, besides, besides various criticism and maybe how people adapt to this?
Yeah, thank you, El Shaddai. I myself, it was through experience. It was through experience. I had a patient who was my mother. I had a sister. These people were very sick. But like my mother was sick for 4 years, and was besides her. I took care of her 1 year, second year up to 4 years. I could get nurses. One day, second day, third day, they go. A month they go. So I was like, no, I have to come up with this to help people.
So it is something that has a story behind it. I actually love the fact that it is out of experience that you came up with this innovation, because very many people go through a lot and they could definitely not offer a solution. Abaganda have a saying that, akakadde ketima erigwa likafumita emirundi ebiri. I don't know if it's true or false, but I really want to know. We've seen this happen in European countries, we've seen this embraced in the UK, USA, but here in Uganda particularly, I won't say in Africa, but in Uganda, I've not seen this work, however much it might be so much important and something that should be adapted to. Do you think that what should be done so that we can create awareness to people to adapt to this particular innovation?
Because not everyone is expert about treating the other, about helping, about giving care to a patient. So you find one is having like a difficult disease, let's say cancer, and is put on a colostomy bag on her stomach. So a mere person like me, an educated one, cannot change a colostomy bag, cannot change the tubes on one's nose or the mouth. You may create other diseases to a patient. So I think we need the trained people, like the nurses, the physiotherapists.
So does this all happen at home? Because, Mr. Henry, does this all happen at home?
With this bedside nursing, basically we are trying to give this as a care in the comfort of your home or in the comfort of your bed in the hospital. So it doesn't matter whether you're in hospital or you're home or you are in a residential care facility, but as long as you need that care, because we may not be treating, we do not treat as such, but we give care. We are caregivers, professional caregivers. We have scenarios where you get into a place where you have a patient, but for instance, they may forget to check their drugs timely. This is where bedside nursing comes in. You need to keep the hygiene of the patient. This is where our caregivers come in with expertise. You need to take a walk as part of physiotherapy of the recovering patient. This is where a caregiver, a bedside nurse comes in. So it is not so much of into treating, but it's to that other service that comes in as your healing.
Well, this is where I want to bring in Mrs. Vicky as well. I don't know, you're a bedside nurse, right?
Yes, I'm a bedside nurse.
I really want to understand what prompted you to actually choose that, you know, I need to be just a bedside nurse, besides all the things that nurses do.
Okay. So that's a simple question to answer.
Very simple, like ABC.
Yeah, it's very simple. So when I was in school, when I was training, I went to Zambia to train for my nursing. So the challenge I found when I was training, like, you know, in the hospital you have very many patients to work on. You can have a ward of 30 patients. Have you ever gone to Mulago?
I've not been to Mulago, but I've been to several
The
hospitals.
congestion there.
Exactly.
So while you're working on this one, you're not yet finished, another one is shouting for help. So, but you're not finished this one, so you find hard time pleasing your patients, working on them properly. Yeah? Because sometimes you have to rush working on this one and you end up not doing things properly. So it wouldn't make me happy. So I decided that it's better you concentrate on one person, that person recovers, when that person recovers, you feel good. You understand? You feel you're contented with your work.
So in other words, you are not attached to any medical hospital.
I don't do that.
You don't do that. If at all, how about when we have no patients to take care of?
We always have patients. People are sick. People need care.
People need care. I did actually know, because most of the times when people fall sick, what we do, we look at the idol, relative around who is not working. We look for someone who might not actually be so much professional. You look for an auntie's child and say, you know what, come and take care of this and this. And sometimes we end up messing up and having conflicts with them because they might not properly do their works very well. But I really want to understand, how long have you done this, Vicky?
2 years.